Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Blue Tarpil, Life on the Mountain. What a wonderful afternoon up here today. Or as most come to call it, BTH. And I'm Duke. So I know it's been a while since I've done a video, and I want to take a couple minutes because I had a project going on. And I promised Ton of Bun I'd go ahead and get a video out today. We've got a lot on our plate. Ton of Bun and I, we've got 2 houses to build and renovating one, and all kind of stuff going on. And then somebody come up with a great idea to do this thing called time change. It gets dark at 4:30. That doesn't work real well for me. At any rate, today's video is on chickens. So as most of y'all know, we have chickens, and there's old foghorn right there, and they like to hang out with me. We had a little decoration up here to the coop, and when we started the chicken deal, we started off with 25 birds and 4 or 5 different varieties, and the birds are 3 years up here at this point. And in the beginning days, we lost 2 of them, everywhere from just being a chick, and then whenever we introduced them to the new coop, for some reason one had died. And then over the summer, this past summer, hadn't had no problem for a couple years, and then this past summer, we ended up having a fox problem. One day we actually came up missing 2 birds in one day. And I got the coop out in the open. I purposely designed it this way after reading all kind of articles and what have you, and I keep the coop, there's no trees around this coop, no thickets, nothing for anything to hide in, and I did it to that way any predators would have to expose themselves to get to my birds. And what I think was happening is those birds, they love to go into this laurel thicket over here, which is, I don't know, 40 yards, 50 yards or so. And they get down into that laurel thicket, and I think what was happening is the fox, or predator, I'm pretty sure it was a fox, I did have him on camera, was hanging out in that thick stuff, and as they would go out and mingle into that mountain laurel and a little bit of underbrush, I think he was waiting for them. So the good thing is the predator days have seemed to stop. Hopefully they have. I haven't had any loss to predator, for quite a while now. However, in the last several weeks, we did lose 2 of them. They were found dead in the coop. And for whatever reason, you Google it and you get 1,000 different reasons why. And, lifespan on chickens is 2 to 10 years. And, so we foghorn is just, coming up and just trying. He just got to make himself known. But at any rate, we did a little bit of research, and we found out that lifespan on chickens, like I said, 2 to 10 years. These birds are at 3, so I seen nothing else wrong with these birds. You can look at him; he's just for 3 years old. I mean, he just looks great. As you can see, he keeps on edging his way to me, and I really don't want to have to whip him on camera. I will, but I try to be nice. And so, and the other thing that happens, this time of year is egg production drops. Typically we would get I don't know, 17, 18 eggs on a given day. And we've been blessed with eggs. I mean, tremendously blessed. Thank you, Lord, for all the egg production. Probably in the last, 2.5, 3 years, we've probably gotten a couple thousand eggs. I mean, there was, I don't even remember what it was. I'm thinking it was over 70 dozen I had in my refrigerator over at the other side of the property. So as things get cooler and as the days become shorter, the birds turn in a lot sooner, and they lose that light, and that affects their laying capabilities. And right now we're averaging 4. One day last week I got 8, and there's another couple days I got 2 or 3. So we come to the conclusion after starting off with 25 birds, now have 16, and egg production's down. Honeybun and I decided it's time to add to the flock. So with foghorn being there, our eggs should be fertilized. I know that one of my friends up here at BTH, I couldn't be here, and he's come over and helped me out and taken some of the eggs, and they incubated them and had success. So we've got the incubator running right now, 21 eggs, 21 days, and got our fingers crossed that things are going to work out. So with new chicks, it's not like you can have chicks and just throw them into this coop. If you put them little chicks in with these birds, these are mountain birds, man. I mean, I've seen them swallow 2-foot snakes. I can tell you right now, a little chick ain't gonna be no problem. And they'll kill them. There's no question about it. So you gotta keep the chicks isolated until they get enough growth to them to where they can defend themselves. And then in the beginning stages of it, they have no feathers. They're just fluff. And up here, I mean, it gets pretty cold. So especially me trying to hatch at this time of the year, you gotta, keep them warm for, several weeks until they get their feathers in, and then they gotta grow to the point where they can defend themselves, and then, trying to understand how to merge new chicks in with an existing flock. Trust me, there is such a thing called pecking order. I mean, I can promise you that. These birds, will take claim to a higher position on the roosting post. At any rate, with all that said, we're preparing for the new chicks. Like I said, they are already on the incubator. And Honeybun and I was trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to handle this merge? How are we going to handle the chickens up at this remote location in the mountains? I'm here every day, but I'm not here every hour. So how do you do that? I've got power on this side of the property, but I take it back. I do not have power on this side of the property, but I have it on the other side where my garage is. So in order to run a heat lamp or some type of radiant heat to keep the chicks warm, I've got to have the chicks over at the other side of the property. I do have solar on the barn right back there. Panels are on the other side, catches all that sun throughout the day. And that does well, but as soon as that sun goes down, trying to run a heat lamp off of solar throughout, I mean, it gets dark at 4:30. Gets daylight, 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. I mean, that's a strain on the solar, and, if it gets too cold for them, they're going to die. So this whole idea of trying to take care of chickens in a remote location that I can make work somehow without constant supervision, we've come up with the idea. We had an old tractor, old yellow. You may remember seeing videos on it or whatever back a couple years ago. It had a rusted rim and left me down for a little while, and we replaced it with new red. But whenever I bought that tractor, I got an old Jello, what the original owner called a parade trailer. So I guess he used to put kids on it and go down through one of the apple blossom parades with it and take the kids on his tractor and so on and so forth. And I've had this tractor sitting around, and obviously I'm not going to go jump into no parade. I've had people on it for hay rides in the past, and The axles got pulled out from underneath of it, and I've had to do a lot of repair, but needless to say, this old wagon was sitting here and didn't really have a purpose. So that leads me to the purpose of this video. We made what I'm going to call the chick house. It's a portable chick house. Now, I've seen portable chicken coops and what have you, where you can move them around the property and give them different grasses to feed on. I don't need anything like that. Up here, guys, I got 55 acres of wonderful grass and, whatever it may be that these birds have free range on. You can see them, they're all over the place, And so I don't need the fresh grass because they have free range of whatever they want. The door is open. It's up to them and where they go. And I can tell you, for those that may not know, like clockwork, 30 minutes before dark every day, they'll be in that coop. But so they're pretty maintenance free at this point of the game. But the chicks will be a different story. They require a lot of attention in terms of keeping. I mean, they don't know. They'll run around and step in their water and spill their feed and whatever, and you got to keep that thing going for them. So we took this trailer and we made the portable chick house. And that's what I'm going to show you. It's a pretty cool build. Took me about 2.5 days to build it. And, the construction on this, I just want to tell you, the construction on this probably cost me about $20. And the whole entire chick house itself is made out of some old antique boards. The property we just acquired was a house from 1972. It was rough sawn lumber down inside the basement. There was an old shelving system down there. And we were pulling it out and throwing it in the dumpster. And I thought, wait a second, let me grab a couple of those boards, take them up to BTH. Let me see if I can make something out of them. So I did, the chick house. So let me introduce you to the chick house. All right, so there we go. There is the portable chick house. I can hook that right to the back of my four-wheeler and I can drag it wherever. So the concept is we'll take this chick house, we'll pull it into the garage where it's warm and I have power. And that will allow me to hook up radiant heat. We are not going to use a heat lamp in this. We got a radiant heater that is supposed to be much better. And then when I'm up here throughout the day, to mingle the birds, I will tow this wagon over to the coop here where I have it now. And it has the open cage to it. So the existing flock and the chicks can mingle without getting to each other. And I'm hoping that's going to work. I think that it will. And obviously, once they get feathers on, then they'll come out and they'll be running around in here, have full view of their area. And then whenever they do get to age, I'll train them to the coop by putting them into a kennel, a wire cage kennel inside the coop, and I'll leave them in that kennel for 1 week without having access to the outside or anything. And that will train them into that coop to get them switched from this to the coop, which will be their permanent home. And at that point, they'll give them another week of growth. And by the time they get turned loose, everybody should be happy together. Is what I'm hoping for. So as we go into this, here's the old boards that I talked about. I made that, just by cutting that. It was an old shelf in a house from 1972. And so a couple things with a chick house and pretty much any coop. You have to be able to maintain it. Okay, so this is a piece of triple layer greenhouse panel. Whenever I did the greenhouse at the barn several years ago, I had some left over. So I've got that to where you can actually, this will radiate some heat down inside to keep the chicks a little bit warmer. I can maintain this. You have to be able to go in there and clean things out and check on them, and that's where the heater's going to be and to retain each other heat. So I come up, I went ahead and groove these out, and I come up to where you can just come up here very easily and you can maintain the whole inside of the box. So no problem. I can get to every portion of this with no problem at all. And if I did need to vent, let's say it was a little bit warm out, I could just take it and, you know, just leave it back a little ways. Now let some heat vent out. If I did decide to have a flock or start a new chick flock, you know, in the warmer weather. But that has a lock in it. It clips in up here at the corners. That way it can't come back too far. I did leave a drainage line back here in this groove, so as the water would hit that, if it did rain, the water would hit that and roll out. So that's our very simple sliding roof for the coop. And as you can see, it comes up here into the front. And, you know, just very neat and simple. All right, so then we come over to how do they have access into the coop and the nest. So, well, let me go ahead to the cage here real quick. So on the cage, if I wanted to let the birds out or gain access to the front, very simple clip, hinge it open, there's the access, there's the front door. Okay, well, let's see, they need a ramp to get down off of. So we'll undo the ramp, just like that. Here's a custom ramp I made for them. And the ramp down, slide it right on. Oh, got the drill bit there. So now they have the ramp to get up and down. This guy right here, if I need it to clean, again, maintenance is everything. You gotta have access. So you just undo the clip. Got me a pull handle there to raise it up. I'm going to set the phone down just for a sec. All right. There we go. So if I need to get in here, this is where their food and water will be. And I'll be able to get in. And what I did is I easily prop the top board up against the cage. This is, by the way, 1/2-inch welded mesh wire all the way around. Nothing going to get into it. And then I just put me a kick plate there to keep the board from sliding out. Just in case I needed to get in here, I can get in this whole thing and do any repairs or whatever. So as of right now, we have the front door. The door hinges that way. That way it directs them this way. They can jump off of it if they want, or they can easily go down the ramp. You see up in there, gives the maintenance. Now let's go over to the door. So let's have the birds have free range of their day. I got a little handle sticking out the side. There's my door. So you simply just grab the handle. There we go. It's got a stop right there, so the door won't come open no further. And then it's got to stop going the other way to make sure it's fully closed. And it's on the slide track. So there we go. All the way back through. Coop. Now you won't be able to move that up all the way with the coop head up, but obviously this would be down to maintain the inside. So there it is. That was a very fun little build for the chick house. And all refurbished lumber. I didn't buy no lumber at all. I bought a couple of the clips and the handles and stuff like that. You know, and other than that, like I said, it's probably 20 bucks, maybe even less. Also, let me close this back up. So we'll simply, again, I'm going to put the phone down for a sec. Sorry. All right, we got that down. We're going to re-clip it. Okay, that's secure. I'm going to take that, put it in there like such. Take the ramp, slide the ramp up, like that. Close the gate. Put the clip on, just like that. The bungee is just to keep the roof jack and the ramp intact. So as I want to tow it around, and there's my handle. Back four-wheeler up, pull it wherever you want to go. I was going to show you something, I think, about that I needed to stop, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll do some bedding down in here, and I think all I'm going to do to it to final it out, I mean, it's good to go now, but I think all I'm going to do to it to final it out would be to maybe come through with a clear, maybe like a poly or weatherproofing for a deck or something, but just clear. And I'm going to spray the whole trailer down to make sure it's, the wood's watertight. I will keep this inside most of the time. And if it's raining, I wouldn't have the birds out here in the rain, or at least the chicks out here in the rain. This also would make really good for a, I believe I get this right, the Brody box, to where when you have an older hen that, is wanting to lay her own eggs. I've tried them inside the actual coop a couple times, but I think the other birds get in there and start picking at them and what have you, and it hasn't really worked out. So, now I know what I want to show you. So, even more maintenance to the back here. You slide that up out of the way. You got all your bedding and your heater and stuff in there. You got chicks. We have a little step back here. So you can step back here, and again, like I said, I can access every single portion of that. No problems. So, there it is. The Blue Tarpil Portable Chick House. Really nice. Really, really nice. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get some people to send me orders. It's cool. At any rate, out of everything else I got going on, I just built another house for the chicks. That's the important thing right now, I guess. And now it's done. I don't have to worry about it. When them birds come in hopefully 21 days, they'll stay a couple days in the incubator, and then I'll transfer them over to this. They'll stay in the main part with some food till they just get a little bit of size to them, and then they'll have shelter with the warmth and be able to come out to their temporary free range area. Again, they'll be able to be out in here. The other birds will see them. They can mingle. I could take them back to the other side of the property in the evenings, and then just do that system. I believe, I'm not mistaken, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, it's just trying to get it off memory, but I believe it's 12 weeks that it's going to take from the time that I get the birds to the time that they're probably going to be big enough to do their own thing. And if it all works out, then we're going to have a bunch more eggs. That's the key. The key. I'm thinking, I think 12 weeks until they can, get enough feathers to where they won't need the heat and stuff anymore. And then I believe it's 26 weeks. Oh gosh, I don't know, 18 to 26 weeks of when they'll start laying eggs. And if this all works out, the flock will be built back up. Now, I will say that the flock, every single one of these eggs is a leghorn egg, and our rooster is a leghorn, foghorn, leghorn. So I think we're going to have a bunch of white fluffy birds. I believe there's no mix to this particular hatch, and that's because all my brown leg ayers had plugged up. They haven't laid no eggs in, probably a few weeks at this point. So I took what I could to get started with it. If the incubation doesn't work and those eggs weren't fertile, I won't know that for about another 24 to 48 hours. Then we'll probably just order some chicks, and when they come in, I'll be ready for them either way. So other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like the blue tar-pilled chick house, portable chick house. Our new rooster, we had this at the property in Virginia, and we ended up moving him up here. He's a pretty big guy, I don't know, 5.5 feet tall, something like that, 6 feet, I don't know. And we'll just take you here to the birds. Up. The other thing about cold weather, look at that. Look at that block of ice in there. Dadgummit. They love, you can see, they love ice. They love the ice. There you go, birds. All right, well, let's go check them out in the coop since it's been a while since you see. Let's see what's happening in the coop. And actually, I didn't pull eggs yet today, so now's a good time to do that. There's a foghorn up on his roost already. We had one of them that want to do a little bit of scat there. Okay, so there we go. Today we only got 3 eggs. That's what I'm saying. You just never know. Feed's good. Say hello to YouTube. All right. Well, guys, once again, I gotta get these eggs, clean a little bit of scat out here. That dumb things. They're flying down at me. They're beaming me. Get that stuff cleaned up. Here they come. Here they're all flying down now. Say hello, foghorn. He'll show off for the camera every time. What do you say, boy? He's a good-looking bird. So, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you all like the portable chick house. I think it's really neat. It was a fun build. So we'll close things up for today. Thanks for watching. I'll get another video out as quick as I can, but I'm sure you all know it takes time. And I don't have a lot of it these days. So we're working on it, and we'll see what we can do. Other than that, blue tar-pill life on the mountain. Gotta love it. Thanks for watching.